History is full of firsts.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Many of those firsts shaped our way of life. For 70 years, KPRC Channel 2 has been proud to be pioneers in shaping television and Houston history.
In a state the size of Texas, everyone can enjoy.
Calls in the storms Thursday.
Minutes before 9 o'clock, the crew's here telling you.
This is the first time in a long they had 11. Send us some of your pictures.
Isn't it good to work for a place that has a sense of history? And indeed it is.
See, taking the president from Spring to College Station following.
If you have something you'd like Channel 2 Investigates to check out, call the tip line at 713-223-TIPS or email investigates@click2houston.com. Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
And new information on breaking news we've been tracking all morning. A security guard that shot 2 men at a sports bar. Coming up, what deputies are saying at this hour.
Also, new video just into our newsroom. Terrifying moments for people on a plane where that jet with nearly 100 people on board made a hard landing.
Also, where strong winds led to the so-called reverse waterfalls. Yikes, water going up and over the cliffs instead of vice versa. Maybe our meteorologist Campbell Marshall can explain that. No, just kidding.
Oh boy.
That's quite the video. I've never seen that.
That happens when you have a lot of wind.
There we go. See, I knew he had an explanation.
Right
I knew
there.
it.
we don't have that kind of wind today, but we do have some pretty good breezes out there. And some misty skies right now. Mist and just a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now. Captain Sinus relief camera shot here. Well, look at that. 68 degrees at Bush Intercontinental Airport. 3 degrees above what our normal high is for the day. We've been in the 60s all morning long, in fact. 70 at Hobby, 68 in Galveston right now. Normally our highs are about 65 degrees. We're thinking 75 at Bush and Hobby, 71 in Galveston. Well short of the records, thank goodness, but still a lot warmer than normal. Here are the temperatures out there right now. 65 in Liberty, 69 in Sugar Land and Wharton, 70 in Palacios. A little bit cooler in areas to the north, but we have that wind coming from the south and southeast. And it's going to continue throughout the day. 18, 16 mile an hour sustained. I told you in the earlier newscast we'd see those winds continue and pick up with gusting even higher, and we'll see that throughout the day. Exact track radar is quiet, except for a few sprinkles that are out there. For the rest of the state, the Futurecast model initializes pretty well, shows the showers that are in place for today, shows the showers that continue to be in place for tomorrow, including some downpours, some thunderstorms associated with that. Same thing on Tuesday and again on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the amounts of rain we can expect during that period of time. And the temperatures today, they're going to be in the mid-70s for your highs. The hour-by-hour forecast, chances going up throughout the afternoon, especially as we go to the evening hours into tomorrow. We'll time it all out for you coming up, guys.
All right, Campbell, thanks. Now an update to breaking news. We've been tracking 2 men that were shot outside a sports bar by a security guard.
New at this hour, we've learned that guard is being questioned as to exactly what happened. One of those men died from his injuries. This all happened at the Ojos Lojos Sports Cantina off the North Freeway in Barron Springs. And Channel 2's Taisha Walker is live at the business with the latest. Good morning, Taisha.
So Sophia, good morning. Deputies just left the scene within the last 10 minutes and gave the all clear to employees to go inside. If you pay close attention to the glass, you could see where it was shattered by bullets this morning. The deadly shooting happened around 2 o'clock. Harris County deputies say the security guard that was inside was trying to clear the bar out when a group of people refused to leave. That led to an altercation. Deputies say the security guard then pulled out his gun and shot multiple times, hitting a man in his 30s who ended up dying here inside of the restaurant. The other person was taken to a hospital where he is listed in stable condition. Right now, no charges have been filed. No one has been named as a suspect. Reporting live here in North Harris County, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Taisha, thanks. Breaking news from Russia now. A scary situation this morning after a Boeing 737 jet with 96 people on board made a hard landing. Look at that. Nobody injured, thankfully, when the aircraft en route from Moscow landed. Russia's Civil Aviation Authority said the hard landing was due to a problem with the plane's frame. They say all passengers and crew had safely left the aircraft.
Breaking news, New York authorities searching for a suspect in what they're calling an assassination attempt on police officers. Here's a look at that suspect. Authorities say the suspect opened fire on 2 officers sitting in a marked van in the Bronx last night. The suspect allegedly walked up to the car and asked a question, engaged in conversation, and then started shooting. One officer was hit in the neck and chin, but is expected to be okay. The second officer was not hurt. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio criticized what he called a blind hatred towards officers.
I have to say there is just too much hatred out there right now. There's too much hatred in general. There's too much hatred being directed at our officers, and it has to end. Tonight, thank God, our officers are safe. Thank God they will go home to their families.
So far, the suspect is being described as a man in his 20s or 30s. In Atlanta, investigators say one person was killed, 2 others injured in a shooting behind a club. Officials say an off-duty officer was in the area and fired at the suspects when they refused to drop their weapons. Now, it's unclear if anyone was hit by the officer's gunfire. Police say multiple people were detained at the scene and several weapons were recovered. But so far, no word of any arrests.
And new this morning, getting our first look now at the man accused of barricading himself inside an apartment and lighting it on fire. The 35-year-old Aaron Gullery now charged with arson, accused of beating his wife, barricading himself inside an apartment and then lighting it on fire, as we said. Happened at the San Marino apartment homes at Empanada Drive near Highway 6. When deputies entered the apartment after a 4-hour standoff, they say Gullery was passed out because he was drinking too much. Also new, a big crash in downtown Houston. Witnesses say a woman driving the wrong way at speeds of nearly 100 miles an hour when she slammed into this bus stop. Happened at Austin and Franklin. The woman was actually stuck under the truck's dashboard and had to be extricated out by firefighters. Police have not yet released her condition.
This morning, a man is recovering in the hospital after police say that he was shot by thieves at a city park. This all happened at Keith Weiss Park near Aldine Westfield and Aldine Mail Route Road around 10 o'clock last night. Investigators say 2 men walking on the park's trail were approached by a group of armed men, one with a handgun, one with a shotgun, another with a bat. Police say they robbed the other men, and at some point the victim was shot. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. 2 of the victims aboard the helicopter crash that also claimed the life of Kobe Bryant have been laid to rest. Family and friends said goodbye to Sarah and Peyton Chester. Their memorial was held at St. Margaret's Episcopal Church in San Juan Capistrano, California. During the service, images of Peyton playing basketball appeared on the screen. Peyton Chester was a member of the Mamba Sports Academy team, playing alongside Gianna Bryant and Alyssa Altobelli, both also victims of that crash.
In Thailand, police have identified the soldier who went on a mass killing spree inside a shopping mall there. Police identified the gunman as Sergeant Jakrapanth Thoma. Investigators say it started at a nearby military base where Thoma killed his commanding officer and 2 others. He then stole weapons and a military Humvee and ended up at the mall. Police say the Thai soldier killed at least 21 people and wounded more than 30 others before he was cornered and killed by officers.
Police in Florida are trying to find the person who drove a van into a Republican Party tent. The tent was set up in a Walmart parking lot in Jacksonville, Florida. Party volunteers were registering people to vote when a man pulled up, drove through the tent, knocking over tables and chairs. Officials say, though gladly, no one was hurt. Now they're trying to figure out if the incident was politically motivated.
A phenomenon called reverse waterfalls caught on camera in Sydney today. After a summer of drought and bushfires, you'll remember, Australia's east coast now dealing with strong winds, torrential rain, and localized flooding. The reverse waterfalls occur when strong winds whip water up over the cliffs, just like Cambrell said. State emergency services have responded to more than 2,200 calls for assistance since the rain event began on Wednesday.
Wow, incredible to watch.
Yeah.
All right, well, it turns out that there are a lot of similarities between playing basketball and learning about business.
That is what the Dean of University of Houston's Business School tells us. Coming up next, how he made the transition from the court to the classroom and how he says his time on a national team made him a better educator. In today's Sunday Conversation, a man who's been recognized by many as one of the world's most influential scientific minds.
And now he's the dean of Bauer College of Business at the University of Houston. Our Owen Conflenti sits down with Paul Pavlou and talks about his time growing up in the country of Cyprus, his professional basketball career, and how he went from engineer to dean.
Who taught you about the value of higher education?
Well, I think I've always believed in education, and I mean, my life was transformed by higher education. I mean, I came from a small country in the Mediterranean. It's called Cyprus. Not many people know about it, about 1 million people. So my life was transformed by higher education. I was fortunate to get a Fulbright scholarship to come to the United States, and without getting into details, because of higher education, I was able to get into academia as a faculty member, and more recently as a dean. So part of the reason to become a dean is because I think I can, make a big difference. Hopefully I can secure more scholarships for students, or work, as I mentioned earlier, as part of our strategic plan to make education more accessible, more affordable, so we can help more students to achieve the dream of higher education, to get a good job, and have successful careers and rewarding lives, if you may.
Well, I did want to ask you about basketball.
Okay.
Because that's just interesting. Tell me a little bit about the basketball career. You played for the national team?
That's right,
So did you ever play for a world championship? I mean, what was that experience like?
Well, we played actually for, since I remember myself, I was playing basketball up until in the men's national team. So we played all sorts of championships at the local, regional, national, and the European Cup. So it was a great experience, especially being younger. And to play and be on TV, and of course the spirit of competition is it's very important. So of course it's hard work, and that kind of prepared me for later on in life, when I realized that I'm not as fast, as strong, and as tall to be at the NBA. So academics had to take the priority. But it's been a great experience, and I always look back at all the competitions, all the events, and I think very fondly of that experience.
Is there anything that you learned, lessons from basketball, that you now apply to business?
Absolutely, yes. Actually, one of them is not very clear, but to most people. Yes, you have to be competitive, but basketball is a team sport. And you have to get along with people, with your teammates. So how to manage the politics of basketball actually can help you into a career in business, because you have to get along with people, you have to communicate, and actually it's very hard in basketball because you have to, it's a very it's a physical sport. So you have to do everything while running like crazy and jumping up and down. So it actually helps you how to interact with with people, how to be a good teammate, how to play well with others. So while at the same time you want to compete, you want to do well. So that spirit of competition and the spirit of collaboration together, it has been quite powerful.
Is there a moment in time that you remember in your life that was crucial to getting you here today? In other words, was there that time where you could have made a left, but you made a right, and it brought you here? Or something somebody said, a personal moment that was really critical to your success that you found?
I think so, yes. Actually, I was an engineer by training, and I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, fighting with code in MATLAB, if you know. And I was like, I'm a good engineer, but I don't think I can spend the rest of my life doing this. So I decided to look for other opportunities, and that's where I got in touch with the business school. So I talked to some faculty there. So they explained to me that, yes, you can use your hard quantitative skills, but you can apply them into a software in business. And information systems was at the time growing with the dot-com boom in the late 90s. And I said, this is very interesting things that I can use my competencies and skills in engineering and can apply them into something more open-ended.
The dean recently set a series of 5 goals for the school. 1, to become a world-class business school providing leading curriculum. 2, be more affordable and accessible as an institution. 3, to become a leader in digital education. 4, to become a role model among business schools for diversity and inclusion. And finally, harness the power of alumni to create mutual benefits for them and its students.
I've got goals too.
Yes, those are great goals.
Those are great goals. And there's a great story that he's telling there as well. Yeah. Wonderful thing. My goal is much like him, just to be a great-grandfather, and a great-grandfather. Not a great-great-grand, but a good one. That's a shot of Riel Grace. I promised this yesterday, for those of you there yesterday morning, and I just got these in hot off the paces from my daughter, who gave me permission to use them. So I figured, hey, whatever kind of day you're having, it's got to make you smile. At least it did me, and it's just called grandfather privilege, if you will, to get that on. Look at what's going on here. This is amazing. Linda sent this Bella. Look at how many dogs can do that. Bella's, what's going on next door? Bella's like, oh, what could that be? Thank you for that. Great click-to pins. I love that shot. Outside the studios here, overcast with 69 degrees, south-southeast winds at 16. Remember I told you we're going to have wind? Yes, we do have that wind, and breezy and warm. 65, 69, 70 in Palacios and Lake Jackson already. The winds right now coming from the south at southwest at about 15 miles an hour, 18 to 13 miles an hour going forward here. In fact, I can show you another graphic that shows you those same winds, 13, 18, 16 miles an hour with the gusts that are in place here, 23 miles per hour gusting. We're going to continue to see gusts about like that throughout the afternoon, and we'll continue to see the southeast winds as well, as all of this goes up with this warm front to the north, and it's all part of what's going to be changing our weather over the next couple of days. The Futurecast model will show you that in a second. We look at this big picture here, and this is where the storms are right now, with that warm air going up, with the moisture interacting with the colder air. In fact, we do have some winter advisories, and not warnings, but advisories all throughout this area and over in New Mexico as well. That's what's happening now. The temperatures are certainly cold enough in the 30s and 20s. We've got this really warm air that's down in the south that's helping to pump that up. Here's a Futurecast model showing the American Futurecast showing tonight. Shows most of the rain that's off to the west, and then we'll start to see a lot more of that coming in. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have storms around as well and downpours off and on. Same thing for Tuesday. This is 4 o'clock on Tuesday, a little less for us on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, more and broader coverage. This is Wednesday morning going into the afternoon, and then by late afternoon, we see all of this moving out. But going into Thursday and Friday, we clear things out a bit. Going into Friday, which is Valentine's Day, you know what that is, right? The day of love. It's going to be nice. A lot of sunshine going on there. Saturday afternoon, evening into Sunday morning, it'll be off the coast there by Sunday morning, we think. And then going into Monday, more rain the next month. So there's a long shot what's going on there. 2 to 3 inches in areas where we are, 6 to 8 where these heavy rainfall is in North and East Texas and Mississippi and Alabama going forward there. So hour by hour for us, about 75 degrees. And then you look at the 10-day forecast, you notice that we have those mid-70s today and tomorrow, 64 degrees after the rain gets through here on Wednesday. And then going into Thursday and Friday, we have the mid-60s. And I think next weekend, by the way, those last 3 days, those are general thoughts about what they're going to be. The models, it's just too far off to be really exact with that, but we paint the broad picture of what the expectations are for that weekend. Keep those umbrellas handy. We could have some issues and some of the low-lying spots here in the first 3 days of this week. This morning, coming up on Houston Newsmakers, Pierce Bush running for Congress in the 22nd Congressional District and says Donald Trump's policies are policies he fully supports.
It is his policies and the conservative principles that he stands for that I fundamentally believe are the most empowering of ideals that encourage American citizens to live their full lives to their God-given potential.
His first run for office, why having the Bush name is not something he's counting on to win. We'll talk about that on Houston Newsmakers coming up next.
All right, important conversation. Thank you, Cambrell. If you're in the market to buy a car, then you've probably shopped around many dealerships.
But there are other places you can buy one. We're going to call consumer expert Amy Davis to show us a hand, to show us if buying a car using clubs like Costco can actually save you a lot of money.
I approve this message.
Welcome back. Buying a car, as you know, may be one of the biggest purchases you make, second only to your home.
So you want to save every penny that you can. Some members-only clubs and groups offer reduced rates on new cars to their members. And this morning, consumer expert Amy Davis shows us what you ought to know about these deals.
Sam's Club, Costco, AAA, all of the clubs have car buying programs where you use your membership number at dealerships that partner with these clubs to get exclusive discount pricing. But we wanted to know just how good those deals are.
From bulk ketchup to a sea of goldfish crackers, Costco offers savings on all kinds of products. And it claims cars are also included. Through Costco's auto program, you can type in what kind of vehicle you want to buy and get a list of approved dealers that will give you special Costco member pricing. We picked a 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe. The manufacturer's suggested retail price is $50,295. But through the Costco auto program, we would pay $45,254, about $5,000 less. On AAA's car buying service, the same Tahoe was $43,733. Something else I got besides a little savings, a slew of phone calls, text messages, and emails. All from salespeople eager to sell me a new Tahoe. They confirmed the member price I got online was just the starting point, and that if I drove down, they could definitely help me get a better deal.
People who work in the auto industry say consumers can absolutely beat the prices we received from the Costco and the AAA programs, and that these member deals are little more than lead generators for the dealerships, which is why I received 3 phone calls, 5 emails, and 3 text messages after I made just 2 inquiries. I'm consumer expert Amy Davis, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thanks, Amy. Amy did a whole series on the different options on how to buy a car. You can see them for yourself anytime under our consumer section of clicktohouston.com. We'll be right back. Well, it might be warm and rainy in Houston, but up north in Pittsburgh, some really special feathery friends. They are enjoying this first snow of the year. The penguins at the Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium, they had a blast playing in the snow, sliding down. The temperature was just right. Has to be 45 degrees or colder there for the penguins to be safely outside, running around and frolicking and sliding.
All day.
They're so cute.
They are cute. That is
the
so
waddle. Is that the quack? Sort of.
Great.
Yeah, penguins sort of crack.
We got nothing like that for us today. The elephants have been out there, too, at the Houston Zoo, so it's a good place to go. You don't see penguins there, but you see a lot of other things. 68 at Galveston, 70 at Katy, Hobby 71, Bush Intercontinental 68. Rain is out there, mostly to the west. We'll start to see that develop a little bit more as we get into the afternoon. Rain chances go up this afternoon. Will be close to 75 degrees. When we wake up tomorrow morning, between 64 and 68, rain, and same thing for the afternoon. 64 to 74, and showers will be with us, however you look at it going.
Got umbrella out.
Yep.
It'll be warm, though.
Houston Newsmakers is next.